morning, all the participants to the Atal FDP on advanced geocomputation, including AI. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Atal Academy and the Institute to welcome you for this program. So Professor Ramarao has brought in a large number of very distinguished speakers, and the subject is very vast, but he is, I think, including the soft computing, LIDAR, machine learning, also mathematical morphology, geosciences, SAR data processing, open source software, right? And finally, how to write in journals and also have relaxation and yoga. So it's a 5-day very comprehensive program. I wanted to bring to your attention that anything that happens by us when we are on Earth happens at some location. So once this location is brought into as part of our understanding, recording, and decision making, and our actions or the resources at that place interact with our activities, climate, and have a long history, then without GIS, we can't really analyze, store, or even decide what actions we should take. You're all aware that now the AICTE, in its wisdom, has included the geospatial GIS as part of the GATE also. Also, it is very important to bear in mind that if you really take the space various disciplines, within India, the money which is made by geospatial services exported outside, I think it is estimated by geospatial media above $5 billion, which is actually much more than the space budget. What has happened over the years is, earlier we used to have survey, so survey was taught. Then we had teaching of cartography. Parallelly, the digital cartography and computers came. Then remote sensing at very coarse resolution. Then finally what happened, around 2004, Google brought in the Google Earth, and it democratized the geospatial information of high resolution for the entire world. Now we have moved much beyond. So the last 10 years have been very, very rapidly evolving. One, the data has now become open from whether it is Landsat, whether it is the European Commission's Sentinel systems. So data is no longer a problem. Two, what we thought that satellites cannot really do cover the globe daily, but now we have a private company, Planet Labs, which acquires around 14 million images per day and covers almost the entire globe daily. We thought satellites are only for regional systematic coverage, and on demand, you can't do anything because in India, the aircraft goes through another process of approval through defense. But this pandemic has shown that the drones have totally taken over, so much so that even the Survey of India wants to develop the next level of very high resolution cadastral mapping and land information system through drones. So now we have drones which can give you on demand spatial coverage. You have a large number of sensors. You have open satellite data ready to be available. Now this readiness has reached a level that we don't even have to download the data. We can process this on Google or Amazon, those Earth Engine, and we can only get the result back. So now we are waiting for a explosion of innovation, and youngsters who will drive with their ideas bring in large number of new services for various sectors, whether it is for agriculture, whether it is for commerce, whether it is for marketing, whether it is for smart city, transportation, disaster management, all such things would actually be possible. Now, to train this next set of youngsters, it is incumbent on all of us, including all the faculty who have joined us, to continuously update ourselves. In fact, last week, I was very, very much surprised to understand that new Apple will actually have a LiDAR of 12 feet range. So it will allow a room to be captured, and you can place any augmented reality, a 3D object on the existing room, including yourself, to do an analysis. So the maps have now become outdated. You should have the current version available. The tools are free. The technologies to capture spatial data is very large. And for many of the processes, we could actually introduce artificial intelligence to recognize the phenomena, even identify the people or track movements. Whatever be your challenge, there exists now a much robust, faster, and cheaper way to attack that problem. What 10 or 20 years ago, we used to call them as limitations of the technology. So all the limitations are only a challenge to be overcome and then brought in new areas. So this geospatial, geocomputation, artificial intelligence, and enhancing the quality of life and using it for commercial activities through these sources. You would all agree that many of the new so-called unicorns are not mortar and brick companies. They are the service, integration, and a great idea company. We need to communicate to this, and incidentally, those of you who are interested can go to the Copernicus Masters competition, which is organized in Europe every year and attracts hundreds of entries, including a very substantial number. More than 20% entries come from India, where you use the existing data and this power of being mobile, of being connected, and being able to solve a problem to really make a business case, a solution of a task. The task can be very simple for a person-oriented, a farmer, or an individual to find the nearest food joint, to as much challenges as climate change and the sustainable development goal, which the UN wants by 2030 to achieve, because in 21st century, we cannot talk of our humanity where people are either hungry, lack water, or do not have access to medical and so many other facilities. So welcome. I'm sure you are great teachers, and I'm sure that by learning all these new recent trends, you would really be able to incorporate them as part of your teaching exercise. And we would be very happy to welcome you again on some other occasion for another this type of program. Thank you very much.